Hello folks, my name is Zach, musclesandveggies.com, coming at you again. Want to talk about the Standard American Diet. Okay, the Standard American Diet, acronym SAD. Alright, what is that? Americans are after a quick fix. Okay, our country is full of, let's kind of say, lazy people that want a quick fix. They want fast food, they want packaged food, they want processed food. If it doesn't come out of a box or a plastic wrapper, a lot of Americans aren't really going after it. Okay, basically, I want to talk about 3 foods that make up a lot of the Standard American Diet. How to avoid them. We're going to get into this. Okay, number 1, wheat. All right, in the last 50 years, there is 50% more more gluten in our wheat than there was 50 years ago. That means that the wheat that we're eating, hybridized wheat, is not the wheat that our grandparents or great-grandparents were eating last century. Okay? What this means for us, higher gluten gluten's an amino acid. When these amino acids get down into our stomach and there's a high amount of them, our body can't digest them properly. This causes inflammation or gut permeability. Gut permeability leads to a lot of different problems in the body, including weight gain and inflammation, which leads to other problems like arthritis, so on and so forth. Okay, number 2, dairy. Let's talk about dairy. Dairy actually is pretty interesting because people use it in their cereal, people have half and half in their coffee, people have butter on their toast, then they have cheese on their eggs. And all I just mentioned was just during breakfast. Okay, so people are using a lot of dairy in our country, all right? Dairy actually is supposed to be this big, rich in calcium plan, right? You got to have calcium, which actually people don't understand that plant-based foods do a much better job. Things like chard, kale, almonds, figs, these all do a much better job than milk and don't contribute to chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation from milk, what does it? Casein protein, another amino acid. When this casein protein gets in our stomach, has the same reaction that gluten has. It's hard for our body to digest. Some bodybuilders think that casein protein, it's slow digesting, long lasting, we need it to build muscle. Well, the reason it's slow digesting is because your body's having a hard time digesting it in your small intestines, okay? So, inflammation response. Inflammation, we know, leads to a lot of dis-ease in our country, okay? Number 3, refined sugar. Man, you can't look anywhere without seeing sugar somewhere, whether it's the checkout counter at Home Depot or the grocery store, the gas station. You can't go anywhere without sugar being constantly around you. Sugar is one of the major contributors to type 2 diabetes in our country, if not the major. Also obesity, hyperinsulinemia, if I said that correct. And these cause our levels in our insulin and our blood sugar to constantly rise and lower, all this sugar, okay? A lot of our country doesn't understand that they're really only running on 6 cylinders instead of 8. And they just think that's normal living. It's part of old age. All these problems are part of old age. Well, the thing is, if they would cut a lot of this sugar out, cut a lot of this inflammation out that they're getting from some of these foods, they would be running on a higher energy-based foods, which help them fire on all cylinders, help their engine really get up and go. Energy levels increase, dis-ease goes down, and you start feeling better, performing better, and living a happier life. Okay, if you haven't tried to eliminate any of these foods, I recommend doing one at a time. So don't, I'm going to eliminate sugar, wheat, and dairy all at once. You can do that. That's great. And I encourage you to do that. But at the same time, we want these to be long-lasting habits and not just 2-week diets, all right? So cut these things out. See how you feel after you cut one out. Then as you reach that goal and you feel better and you notice the difference, go to the next one, all right? Then, I'm not saying you can't ever have these foods. We're human. We make mistakes. We're imperfect. All right. So, the point is to keep these 3 foods out of the 80% spectrum of your diet for health, longevity, performance, energy efficiency. More on this topic, I have a whole blog about this on my website. Check it out. It's called 3 Foods to Avoid on www.musclesandveggies.com. For now, I'm out. Get at you more on this topic. I'll talk to you later.